Hello everybody, my name is Richard Vigorelli and this is Vigorelli Institute. Now I just finished watching the first two seasons of Battlestar Galactica on Prime. Excellent show, I'm actually really enjoying it. Lots happened. Oh boy, has a lot happened. A lot of intrigue, really interesting things narratively. And one of the things that I do like is, see, back in the day, a season wasn't, 6, 8, 2 episodes. It was 20. It ran for 20 some odd weeks, barring, holiday broadcasts and so forth. Okay? Nowadays, honestly, we're lucky to see 10 in a season, which I think is stupid. Now, granted, this is due to budgeting constraints and because of the way the money's allocated. At least that's one reason. They're paying the people behind the camera more, and they're not furnishing other stuff. They're not using repeatable sets like they did, and they're also not really writing as well. But that's a story for another time. Anyway, back to the show. So, it starts off with they have completely abandoned the 12 colonies and are running through space, trying to figure out, A, how to get to Cobol, because there might be something there, B, how to get to Earth, or C, can we survive? And interestingly, because this is more of an ensemble cast, every now and again you'll get an episode where they will focus on a single character. So like a supporting character will become main character for the episode. We learn a lot of stuff. Takes a little while, but there's this really pretty Korean? I think she's Korean. The actress, anyway. Her name is Grace Park. She plays Sharon. And she is, yes, a Cylon. Big story arcs all the way through the first and second seasons. With her not knowing who and what she is, and then figuring it out, and then going crazy, and getting reincarnated. And there's actually some stuff that happens on Caprica, and that gets complicated. The Cylons are trying to self-reproduce. They want to make babies. But they're not able to do that themselves. So they specifically engineer, Sharon, to be something capable of breeding with a human. Okay. Technically it works, but the child's unviable doesn't make it. Yeah. Also, the president has cancer, and they cure her of the cancer through, we'll call it magical means. Okay. But that's just me. Speaking, as somebody who works in medicine. Well, Gaius, he's a doctor of something. Not sure what exactly. He's completely bonkers. Throughout the first two seasons, he is hallucinating one of the Cylons that, was stucking him throughout the miniseries. She actually ceases function in his little lake house thing on Caprica during the attack. I'm not entirely sure how he survived, but apparently a wizard did it, so it's one of my gripes. Okay? But he's hallucinating her the entire time. And, she looks hot and all of this, and she's using her feminine wiles to mess with his mind. She tells him, yeah, there's a chip in your head. That's how I'm getting in. Then he calls her out on it, and she says, I was lying. You're just crazy. So he goes in, gets his brain scanned, and there's nothing there. He's unremarkable. He's not crazy. So I don't know. She's a demon? Maybe? I don't understand. But that's just something interesting about him. I feel kind of sorry for the guy. Also, I think he's a bit of a putz, but that's me. Anyway, there's a lot of politics in the show. For example, there's a girl. She gets knocked up and elects to have the baby removed. Well, there you have less than 50,000 people alive. And the president, female president by the way, said that if our species is going to survive, we have to make babies as often as we possibly can. We have to repopulate. People are going to die as we move through space, in attacks, in civil unrest, disease, old age, etc. We have to replenish our population. So, no. Well, this girl fights tooth and nail to have it done, and the president flip-flops on the idea quite a bit, and I'm not going to tell you what happens in case you do actually watch it. Okay? So that was towards the end of season 2. Now, Starbuck falls in love with a guy who's exactly like her. They do end up getting married, and it's actually kind of sweet. That's toward the end of season 2 as well. But she meets him in season 1, thinks he's dead, spirals into a massive depression, and then he gets rescued later on. And like, yay! Yeah. The younger Adama, Captain Adama, his name is Lee. By the way, his dad eventually becomes admiral of the fleet. Long story there. Bit of a thing goes on, but we'll get to that. This guy kind of gets around. Apparently he's got a girlfriend on every single ship. I mean, you know, he's a great star pilot, and etc. So, if I was him, yeah, I would. But that's me. So, he does discover that there is a massive black market on within the ships. And he takes steps to have that removed, but it's not going to work because organized crime is everywhere. Which I actually agree would happen. The reason being, when resources are scarce and there's a very tight control as to what gets to be used and when and by who, a black market develops. Typical things in a black market you'll see will be some kind of intoxicants, medicine, food, especially contraband food. We'll say pleasurable company, because YouTube will get mad at me if I say other words. And there's also, we'll call it a backdoor man. I'll let you fill in the blanks, and if you catch the reference, I'm impressed. Let's just say the deeds are a bit dirty. So, he discovers all of this. It's a massive eye-opening. There's even unauthorized human movement in exchange for pay going on between the ships, especially among kids. This, by the way, aired in 05-06. Yeah, so things haven't changed much in 20 years. That's good to know. Anyway, they do eventually. So, one of the things that happens in season 2 is they incidentally come across another Battlestar. Okay, it's called the Pegasus. And it is skippered, / commanded, both words mean the same thing, by the fleet admiral. Now, at this time, the Adama, the older Adama, he is the commander of the Galactica, not an admiral. He's right below Admiral. Okay? So she comes in, takes power, and starts reorganizing things. There's a lot of politics that go into it, and, well, there's some intrigue, because frictions get high. Absolutely. I actually really enjoyed the arc. Also, I thought the Admiral was kind of cute. Anyway, let's talk about this with my impressions now. Okay? So I'm halfway through. Yes, I am going to finish the series, because why not? I'm entertained by it. I'm not bored with it. There is one thing that does drive me nuts with this. The shaky cam. Yes, I know we're in the middle of the knots, and shaky cam is a huge thing. Not an excuse. Now, granted, the director is using shaky cam as a means to show uncertainty. When things are certain, you know exactly what's going on. Everything is plain and laid on the table. The camera is very, very plain, just like the one I'm using right now. It doesn't move. But, on occasion, it does this. Like that. Maybe not to that extent, but you get the idea. Okay? Or like it'll shift. Almost like it's got bad tracking or something. Usually that happens when Cylons are in play or something odd is going on. I do not like shaky cam. It drives me crazy. But at least it's not bipping and bopping around all over the place, which I'm happy about. Okay? I did have a comment on my previous video on this topic saying that I was in for a world of hurt and it was all a bunch of woke stuff. Okay. Let's talk about that. So what defines woke? Well, one of the things is identity. Okay. You can argue it based on the human form Cylons, okay, and the humans having to suss out who is real and who isn't, and quite a few of them sneak past until they admit it or they get found out, and then all hell breaks loose. Okay? So, kinda, but I would not say that identities across the spectrum within the show, and by spectrum I mean all the characters, are super important. There's nobody coming out and saying, my stuff is this, this, and this, and you have to like it. They're not saying that. So I think it's just more of a universe issue rather than a social justice one. Okay? Another aspect is the girl boss. And why, yes, there are some. Okay? We've got Starbuck. We've got the Admiral. We've got the President. Okay? We've got Six. I would classify her as a girl boss. I would also classify Sharon as a girl boss on the surface. Okay? However, not everyone is liked all the time. Okay? Starbuck has notable flaws. For instance, she's a very clear alcoholic. Yeah, hits the bottle quite a bit, especially during 3 or 4 episode stretch in season 2. Honestly, I didn't count the minutes on it, but she's seen highly intoxicated in a lot, at least as far as the character goes. Okay? So, she's got flaws. One of the things with a girl boss is they don't have any. Okay? They are perfect in every single way, and they're taking charge, which, by the way, is also a Mary Sue. The girl boss is they wrench control because they deserve it. A Mary Sue is, well, everybody just likes them because reasons. That would be Ray. Okay? So, There are numerous pulls to keep the president from maintaining her power, especially from Gaius. He is actually a significant political thorn in her side, and honestly, so is Commander Adama, soon to be Admiral Adama. They kind of keep each other in check. She keeps him from becoming a military dictator, Adama that is, and he keeps her from ridiculous utopian ideals that they can't possibly afford. So once they reach that balance, everything's pretty well maintained and they get on just fine. That's called a society. Okay? Never mind, guys. It's crazy, but anyhow. Okay? Let's see here. The Admiral. I don't want to give too much away, but there's a reason why we have an Admiral Adama, and she's basically forgotten. I don't remember her name, because she was there within the plot to show what happens under a full-on military dictatorship, like what Adama wanted to create. Okay? He sees the error of his ways, and she is removed from power. Well, that's just misogyny. No, it isn't. Get over yourself. Okay? So, the two Cylon women, one is using feminine wiles, and the other is kind of sort of using feminine wiles, but she is first and foremost a soldier. Okay? Also a plant. Both of them are actually fairly low ranking as far as the characters are concerned, so I really wouldn't necessarily call them a girl boss. People don't like them. They don't bow before them. They don't listen to them. In fact, the blonde, number 6, is what her character name is. By the way, played by a former playmate. FYI. Woof. Anyway, she, really ancillary, honestly. Gaius, I would say, is a near lead character, and she's really secondary to him, just kind of manipulating him all the way through. Every now and again, we see a version of her that is fully formed, completely different personality. Okay? Yeah. Okay? So, as far as Sharon goes, she helps out from time to time when it suits her, but instantly she goes back into whatever holding they have her in. And the guy that she shacks up with on Caprica, yes, spoilers, he actually fights tooth and nail for her. She wasn't, an evil machine. I would actually say, good job, dude. He was being a real man. So there's that. And by the way, that gets me to another thing. One of the things in woke is there is no masculinity except for what is observed in the females. Okay? There's plenty of masculinity in this. Okay? Captain Adama, very masculine. The Chief, very masculine. The guy that Starbuck gets together with, I can't remember his name right now. Very masculine. He's a bit of a meathead, but he's a good soldier. Okay? And so forth. Okay? The characters that are male in this are not lesser, okay, than the females. Okay? They are different levels of effectiveness regarding their character and function in the story. Not only that, these actually feel like people and not character types with a name stamped on the forehead. Okay, they're not cardboard cutouts. These people have pasts. They have personalities. They have likes, dislikes. There's things that they do in the morning and at night that they always do. I would not call it woke. So, okay. So, when I left off, actually 20 minutes ago, as I actually just turned off the TV, which is right there, and turned on the camera. I finished, that was the end of season 2, and they got a new home. And of course the Cylons showed up and, hi, this is our stuff now. You belong to us. So we'll see what happens in season 3. Okay? I think I'll go watch it. Maybe not today. We'll see. I don't know. I've got other stuff I want to watch. Otherwise, I'll be back later with something else, guys. You take care. Bye-bye.